Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folaring. Now, over the weekend, the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, was warning Nigerians that are involved in recent distasteful utterances along the lines of the Igbo, let us have Biafra, the Igbo must leave a certain area, and so you've been having it back and forth. The vice president he explained that all of this, whereas it must be understood why there are agitations, the law is still the law, and these things were unlawful, especially when you bear in mind the sacrifices of Nigerians, sometimes the ultimate sacrifice. Not sometimes, in many cases, as a matter of fact, the ultimate sacrifice that has been made through the decades for the very unity of Nigeria. So it did seem to me that, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, had very, very little patience with all these agitations coming along those separatist lines. As he said, you must realize why indeed there are agitations, but sight must not be lost of the fact that there still are laws that are being broken, perhaps unknowingly, and so let everybody sort of beware. Looking at the papers this morning, you can see that there's been a sort of firing back. I have two papers in front of me now. One is Daily Sun, and it has as its banner headline, "Arewa used to federal government, let Igbo leave Biafra." And this was after it had been very clearly stated that such statements are off color. Not quite on. Another paper in front of me, that's the Vanguard, says, "Northern youths dare Osinbajo, Igbo must go." So let's look at this. I have Umar Adamu, Secretary General, Arewa United Forum. Thank you very much for coming on again, Umar, in recent times.
Thank you.
It's a delight to have you, sir. And right next to him is Joe Igbokwe. Mr. Igbokwe is an author, he's a publisher, an engineer, and he's APC Publicity Secretary in Lagos. Then again, he's of Igbo extraction. Thank you very much for coming on, Joe.
Good morning, thank you.
Let me start with you, if I may, Umar. When we spoke about this first, I remember that one of the things you had said was that you didn't want to de-emphasize it, but these were essentially youths that had not sought counsel of the elders, and you said you'd be very surprised. In fact, you almost were sure that this did not have the backing of the elders. So here we are today. The Vice President has spoken and commented on the matter. There have been so many comments up and down, radio, TV, press, and yet we're getting a firing back. Igbo must leave Biafra. Igbo must go. Why do you think such things are happening, and why do you think Northern elders are not making their voice heard much more loudly, if it is being heard as we speak?
Thank you, Mr. Yori.
Yori, please.
Sorry. Like I said earlier, I still maintain that the actions of the youths of Arewa is totally unacceptable.
Some of these youths are in their 40s, though.
Of course, they might be even in their 60s. They are still youths, but
in their mind.
In their mind. Now, the Northern elders and the Council of the Arewa Chiefs have met, and they categorically stated that what these youths, their actions, is not proper, and they are not in support of it because of the ultimate sacrifice our forefathers have made, for decades in ensuring that Nigeria remains one indivisible country. Therefore, these youths, well, there are problems in this country. No region that does not have one agitation or the other for being depressed, deprived from some of their rights. The Constitution,
we said that every Nigerian people can make a case for marginalization. Everybody without exception. So that this is going this way, and the elders are not, by some perception, putting their foot down. And it is known how people relate to their traditional rulers, their elders. that this is unacceptable behavior. I guess that's the point, that this is unacceptable behavior. If you have an elder say that to you, you're going to rethink.
Some time ago, my Sule, one of an elder statement, came out to even said there is need for a constitutional, amendment, because Yori, how can I, for heaven's sake, brought up here in Lagos or even given birth here in Lagos, when I need something, I'm given a form, you see it's written state of origin. Where do I come from? Whereas I was born in Lagos, brought up in Lagos, attended my education here in Lagos. Then you are asking me my state of origin. No, it should be state of residence.
Okay, so these are some of the things, and we shall come to those, as the Vice President said, the acting president, that we need to recognize why there might be some agitations, even as we are very, very mindful of a correct and right and legal way to go about these matters. The way that we're seeing now is, quite frankly, illegal. Joe, in the same vein, the MASOB and IPOB, groupings calling for a separation from Nigeria, the same thing applies to them. Every last thing applies to them. Yet, again, these people, from at least the press, social media, are adamant. They don't have overwhelming support. In fact, I get the impression, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they're in the minority, but a very loud minority. How would you see it?
Oh, well, what people like us say is that when we get to the bridge, we will cross it.
How do you mean?
When the time comes, we will speak. The elders will speak. Because although we've been speaking, some of us have been speaking, what we are saying is that if elders are not at home, the children may wear snakes as necklaces. And if we do not speak out when we are supposed to speak out, the kids will speak for us. And other Nigerians will think that we are the ones speaking. We have not spoken. We are not thinking of Biafra. What people are talking about is marginalization, which everybody is talking about. My only way I say it, in 1995, I wrote Igbo's 25 years after Biafra. And I recounted some of these things. Some of our grievances, that since 1970, that since the war ended, we have not produced the president of Nigeria. Number two, that if you look at the zones, the 6 zones in Nigeria, we have the least number of states. And it means that you have the least number of senators, the least number of governors, the least number of House of Rep members, the least number of local governments, the least number of revenue allocation. It goes down. It goes down. But we are saying, people like us are saying that, even in spite of that, but you put the 6 zones on the table, that we're not the last. But we're not the last. But what we're asking, for me, what I've been advocating for, is that additional 1 state to the southeast. And then, if we need to be the president of Nigeria, we need to play the politics.
Because it's interesting you go there, because I've read one statement that Igbo forget about Biafra, concentrate on the presidency.
No, if you even talk about the presidency, I will tell you Obasanjo was the president of Nigeria for 8 years. I didn't see anything. I didn't see much in the southwest. Yaradua was there for 2 years. I didn't see much in Katsina. Jonathan was there for 6 years. Bayelsa is still Bayelsa. Nothing has been added. There's no serious federal presence in Bayelsa. I tell you that their son was the president of Nigeria for 6 years. So I think,
but would you agree that arguably these Indigo leaders have been you know, shall we, I don't want to go about better, but if I was complaining that one had not heard Northern elders enough, in the case of Igbo leaders, you hear some of them being forthright in the matter that absolutely unacceptable behavior, and Nnamdi Kanu, for example, for instance, is entirely on his own. You hear that dissociation. This is a dissociation that we've not heard yet from the North, and that is perhaps giving concern that, look, how hard can that be? Or are there difficulties? Bearing in mind what you've just said about the reasons for these agitations, you also alluded to them, but would you agree that a helpful assertion by Northern elders about the unacceptability of the ongoing calls might just help calm things down so that people can then gather around the table and talk about these matters and resolve them without beating these drums of hate and war? Because I'm thinking that inadvertently it enters into hate speech.
Yori, you see, these guys, their statements, the elders in Ariwa didn't regard it as, you know, serious.
A big deal.
It's nothing. Last week I was in Kano. After I left the studio here, I visited Kano. You see people moving around. I went to Sabongari, no man's land, Igbos. I have a friend that we grew up together in Kano, Ibrahim. He's an Igbo man from Anambra State, Oka. We all met. Everybody's going about his normal businesses. The Igbo man will tell you, me, I'm from Kano, I'm a Kano man. Because I represent Kano in sporting activities. So many things. So I am also an indigenous of Kano. Go and check the records. An average Hausa man, anywhere, a Yoruba man was voted as the chairman of Funtua local government, Katsina. I am from Katsina State. Sikiru in Faye local government, the local government of Legend Abacha. The same thing, Sabongari is no go area to any Hausa man. You can't even go there and contest for councillorship or chairman. It's the Igbos that produce. And like I said, that these guys were quoted out of context. They are not saying that the Igbos must leave. They're not.
No, I thought that was very clear.
They're going to help them and support them.
No.
If that is what they need.
I'm very sorry to contradict you. What was heard was that they must leave by a certain date or else. That's a way different from what you, maybe the way you heard it.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, the way I understood it, the mandate given, you know, doesn't succeed at all, because this matter, really, it's a serious matter. Why? Because it has, you know, a security implications. That is why, you know, the whole Buhaha and the vice president, as a responsible, the acting president rather, came out and said, no, all this hate speech, enough.
In fact, he's meeting with the Northern elders.
He met with them.
He met with them yesterday.
Yesterday, he met with them. You can see Emir Sunusi. Even it was led by the Sultan, Abubakar Sadiq, the third. So therefore, this is to show you that they are on top of the situation. And I want to assure Nigerians that nothing whatsoever, there will not going to be any breach of security, and the Igbos be rest assured that we are one Nigeria, one entity.
Indeed. Because we've come too far. I mean, okay, you wanted to...
I even want to say that it's not actually true that some of the elders in the north have not spoken. I had about 3 governors.
Yeah.
And also had about... Yes,
he started it off by ordering the arrest.
Then I'm not Emir. I've forgotten whether the Emir is coming from. He says he's going to spill even his own blood to defend Igbo people in the north. Others have been speaking. It's just that it's not been too loud.
Yes, but
some leaders,
there are some
in the north today. You cannot say that El Rufai is not a leader.
Okay,
it's a leader leading the bedrock of of northern politics, leading that strategic state in Kaduna State. You cannot just dismiss it. You cannot dismiss them.
Chudi is on the line, and he's calling in from Kafanchan. Good morning, Chudi. Chudi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Good morning, sir. You're in Kafanchan.
Yes. Good morning, Alkoyori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Joey Igbokwe there.
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, I'm hearing.
Okay, please go on. What's your comment?
Okay. I want to contribute towards this issue that has been generating a lot of controversy in the polity called Nigeria. My take over the issue, with due respect, sir, is that it only goes to show the importance of the Nigerian government looking into the issue of restructuring the federation called Nigeria, so that every Nigerian, irrespective of tribe, religion, or ethnicity, will call himself a Nigerian and be proud to be a Nigerian. I think this issue will go a long way in keeping us together than to divide us. I don't want any Nigerian to lose sleep over this threat of the Igbos in the north. Thank you very much, and God bless you in the studio there.
Thank you very much, Chudi, for calling in. Appreciate that call. Well, very much like Umar was saying that the elders don't take this seriously. There is Chudi saying that don't lose any sleep. We're too deeply entrenched in each other, all of us around the country. We have married into them, they have married into us. How closer can you get? Yet these things happen. But as the acting president said, and you have also reiterated, it's not as if there are not issues that agitate the minds of people. You said one more state, for instance, in the southwest, just might make...
Southeast.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. In the southeast, just might make all of that difference. Chudi spoke about every person feeling a sense of belonging. This whole matter about a sense of belonging, let's talk about that for a while. In reality, we have our complaints. The economy is what it is. I can't get 3 square meals a day, but not having a sense of belonging in being a Nigerian, that's a new one on me.
No, I don't think so. You see, people bring up all sorts of things, I'm a historian.
So could I just interrupt you and come back to you, because I want to take Mr. Yakubu calling in from Kaduna, which I've just lost, so please continue.
As I'm a historian, I knew what happened in 2015 elections.
Okay.
And some of the things that are happening now is a fallout of what's transpired, because I had people, and some people lost and they've not been happy, and I think, okay, if we cannot do it, if it's true that these people don't want us, we go, because it didn't play our politics very well. That's what I'm saying, because I was in the midst of it and I saw it all. I saw it all. And suddenly we started seeing hate languages. Before you engage somebody in a fight, there must have been exchange of words. I'll beat you, I'll slap you, you're a fool and all that. You start exchanging words before somebody will just move, because wars begin with hate speeches. And my pains is that we have not learned from history. The world was looking the other way when the Hutus, and the Tutsis had their, killed almost 200,000 people.
And it started from small beginnings.
Small beginnings.
So one cannot afford to ignore these small beginnings.
And after that,
yes,
one significant thing, happened. The people of Rwanda, the Hutsis and Tutsis, began to see themselves as Rwandans. Indeed. Not Tutsi. I'm a Tutsi base. Till date. Go to that country, you see a rework. They have reworked the system. They are doing very well. They have put the past behind them and swore that it will never repeat itself again.
And so we need to learn from some.
We need to learn from them. We also need to learn from South Sudan.
Scholar is on the line from Adamawa. Good morning, Mr. Scholar, Mrs. Hello, Scholar. Scholar.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Adamawa, you're in Adamawa?
Thank you.
Okay.
My take is...
Go ahead, please.
It is a segment, it's a segment of the country that wants to just sabotage the efforts of the vice president. The vice president has done wonderfully when the president was abroad the first time. This time, again, they don't want him to perform creditably. That's why they are just buying his time. Thank you.
Oh, all right, then. Thank you very much. Interesting. I interrupted you. Let me come back to you. Joe started it off, and a scholar there from Adamawa has picked up that thread that, you know, a lot of this is political. A lot of this is political. Sore losers. It's not business as usual. What would be your comment? Of course, we're not trying to trivialize all of this, but people are looking for sources. Where did because as Joe was saying, there is no smoke without fire. Something must have happened, and nothing happened apart from the election happened.
Yeah, that is true. You see, one thing is the issue of Rwanda, Burundi, whatever. They had a truth reconciliation after the genocide. They all came together and realized that they've done, you know, a huge and great mistakes to themselves, not to anybody, because the whole world was looking at them.
And so they're now where they should have been from the beginning, but having paid a terrible price. A terrible price. Yeah, let me bring in Mr. Wale calling in from Ikorodu. Good morning, sir. Mr. Wale?
Hello. Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yes. You see, all these hate speeches we are talking about, you see, let me tell you, both the Igbos and the Hausas, they are guilty of it. I'm from Lagos here. You see, and I can tell you I witnessed civil war. I'm over 60. You see, if you go down the memory lane, even the Hausas, where that gentleman there was speaking, my son just finished serving in Sokoto. You see, we, these selfish people among the North and even in the East, they are the ones. They don't want this younger generation to know the truth just because they enslaved them. In the North today, you can't take up a permanent job as in Nigeria. In the East, look at my brother there, Igbokwe. In Lagos State here, we respect him so much. But just tell me one person in the whole East, a Yoruba man, a Hausa man, that is in the assembly, that is in the rep, that is even in the commissioner. You see, all these things we need to sit down and define this structure we call Nigeria. They put this thing on us in 1914 without calling the stakeholder to know whether they can go together. The Easterners, they are now talking. We have the Delta, the Edo as part of Western region. All this Bayelsa, this and that, they are part of the Eastern region. They are now saying they've not tasted presidency. What of Bayelsa? They're not part of this thing. All they want now is call Igbo. And Igbos are the enemy of themselves. They don't agree. Do you know how many
do Yoruba people agree?
You mean yes?
Oh, they agree.
Yes, that is the reason why we are moving forward.
Okay.
In those days we have Awolowo. When he talks, that is final.
Okay.
Look at Lagos State here now. Even in the
okay. I just wanted to be sure that, as you said, You said the Igbo people don't agree. So I wanted to know, do Hausa people agree? Do Yoruba people agree? And you say, well, yes. But thank you very much for calling on. We'll come back and look at this, this aspect after this break. Stay with us, please. Okay, welcome back, and well, we have to thank Mr. Wiley from Ikorodu for making an interesting call. And when he got there, okay, Joe, you first, because I see that both of you have comments.
Let me ask the man from Ikorodu whether he has gone to the east to stay for 30 years or 35 years, where I have stayed in Lagos. You see, Lagos is one unique place. Lagos was the capital of Nigeria for 86 years, and people moved here. I have not known any other place except Lagos. Go to Anambra State, you go to Nkwanewu Market, you can be a trader there, you can build a house there, you can do anything there. But the drive to come to Lagos is there. I remember in the 80s and 90s, if you transfer some Yorubas out of Lagos, they will just resign and go and pick another job somewhere. They don't want to. What do you have? Lagos has almost everything. So what do you have that will take them out of Lagos? That's what they won't be able to stay. They won't even stay. So it's just a fallacy that.
But is he being factual, but out of context? That you can't really find other people in key positions in states beyond their own immediate origin.
If you go there and walk, you can walk yourself the way I walk myself to power in Lagos.
Yes.
I walk myself to power in Lagos.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, move. People should. There are lecturers in ABU.
Integrate.
There are lecturers in ABU, University of Jos.
Okay.
Enugu campus. University of
So
Nigeria.
you don't put too much value.
No. You just didn't get
Umar,
it.
you also were making observations because if I didn't misunderstand him, he was explaining why there's a sort of separatism, and you are saying that you don't buy into that. How do you mean?
Yeah, reason because in the First Republic, Koreori, an Hausa man was voted into the parliament from the southeast. And in Lagos here, I could remember, you know, during Tafawa Balewa, the prime minister, and Hausa man too, Aliu Dansukunde by name, was the first Hausa man to be voted to the parliament. He's an Hausa man from the north, core north. Where are these values?
These values should have developed. But for some reason, they either stagnated or indeed are being constricted. And this is what people will try to find out when they get together.
At a time, our leaders derailed. They just abandon everything and start pursuing their own selfish interest.
Our leaders are pan-Nigeria.
Yes, they are not pan-Nigeria. And forget about the masses. That is the truth of the matter.
Unlike the founding fathers and their concept. Mr. Igbokwe is calling in from Alagbadu, I believe. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Morning, okay.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to your guest there. I thank God the Hausa man there is an educated man. What I want to say is I'm a youth. And the point is, I want us to treat this issue not as a threat, but to take it seriously without being lenient with it at all. When a life is lost, life is gone. And we youth these days, most of us has a kind of hardened heart. Like when they decide they want to do this thing, that is the main thing they will do. So when they are very persistent, repeating that same thing every time, that this is what we want, this is what we don't want. Our elders and our leaders, we don't take this leniently. Please, let us find a lasting solution to this and not make mouth about it. Let's stop saying with mouth that nothing will happen, that they are just saying it. It won't happen. Okay, this thing will happen, and when a life is gone, that life is gone and it can never be recalled. Let's find a very strong solution to this. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Oh, thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Igbokwe. Interesting point he makes that, look, we need to work at this. The Vice President said that already. We will work at it. But all the time, you've got to be aware of the unlawfulness of some of the actions that are being taken before coming to work at it. But Mr. Adegboyega made a point that perhaps there might be a need for us to work behind the scenes as opposed to on the pages of newspapers. What do you think of that whole idea? That is, let sincerity prevail, and then when we have some milestone, then we can come out and celebrate that. But what we're doing right now inadvertently is celebrating divisions. Now, do you think there's any stock in that idea?
No, you know, building a nation is not a tea party. Like I've seen this morning, this caption from Vanguard.
That's on the front page of the Vanguard.
I read the whole write-up. The whole write-up. There was no place you see Igbo must not go. So this is a figment of their own imagination. And then they're stoking the fire. You know, they are helping to
these are things we
spread
need to,
falsehood.
And these are things we need to be mindful of.
Total falsehood. You know, we need new Nigerians to build a new Nigeria.
But they will say, but in relation to that, look, if it was said, shouldn't the press report it? Is the press not going to report it?
No, they didn't use must. It's a let.
Okay, so people have to be very, very
well-structured language.
And choose their language.
Well-structured language. Structured language. I read it from the beginning to the end.
And there was nothing about...
there was nothing like you must go. So it's even unconstitutional. So
it's
unconstitutional for any section or any set of people to say...
You think it's a bit sensational? You think that headline is a bit sensational? Mr. Yakub, good morning, sir. Oh, did I leave it too long? I think I lost Mr. Yakub in there. The whole matter about maybe leave the public square and work among ourselves. I don't know the extent to which that is doable. And people have always called for a national conference, and this has always scared our leaders. What do you think about that whole idea where we can maybe talk about this? Because, look, restructuring has come up this morning. The word has been mentioned. Not just word, but also the concept has come up. For some reason, our leaders are not too comfortable with it. What do you think about, first, the idea about working behind the scenes instead of stoking the embers of all these passions that we're seeing?
Restructuring is inevitable, Yori. Whether we like it or not, we are just, just dragging our foot, wasting, undue time. Restructuring, just has to, come.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
Let me hear from Yaru Mohammed, who I understand is calling.
Hello,
from.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Yaru Mohammed.
Madam, please, I would like to say something. It is advice to both of Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. We are one. There is no any reason to somebody to be saying somebody should move away from inside, go back to his side. We, our Hausa people, we have many people that are living in the east. We have many people that are living in the west. We have many people in Nigeria where they are going around. So anybody that didn't go around the nation, stay somewhere and be saying something that a reliable person cannot say that kind of thing. I don't see any reason to be making that kind of language. Me, myself, I have a person that married Yoruba woman. I'm in Hausa. I have a person that have Igbo woman. That is a Hausa man also. We have many people who have already entered each other. If you look at today now, all our leaders, at times they don't want to tell us truth. My cousin house in Kano is Igbo people, that Yoruba people that are occupying that house in very important place, very good location in Kano. We go there, stay with them, play with them, do many things together. Why you people will not stay to think how we move forward, or how we make problem, create something that we will know the end of that in how we look at it. And our parents also, there is some language they are making. If they don't take care of their mouth and know how they will be saying something, the children that are growing up, they will be look at the other tribe like their enemy. Both Hausa and Yoruba and Igbo, that's in common for us. A Yoruba man will say is a Mola. A Hausa man will say is Yoruba. Me that I'm talking to you, I have the opportunity to mingle with Yoruba people that make me have many experience. I was born in Lagos here. So there is a man also in Agege, is an Yoruba man. If anything happens, that man will come out. He will not look at the side of who has what, who wrong, who good. You advise everybody how we move forward. Our leader today, they should come out. The way they are doing campaign, how we vote for us, they will come out to come and campaign for us. How we will be staying together to each other. Not that say they will stay in Abuja, be carrying big agbada to doing something that is not necessary. They should let us know value of ourselves. Not they will be saying something that will cause problem for the nation. This thing that's coming up, if you look at it, there's people behind this word. There's people behind this word. I won't say it's the Hausa man, I won't say it's the Obama, I won't say it's the Igbo man. It's both of us.
All right, then. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Yaro. Interesting. One of the points I picked up that he was making in there is elders inadvertently are perpetuating this situation by the way they talk privately, in-house, within their families. So what is the mental set?
When they fail, I will deal with this, and after that I will talk about restructuring. When they fail in the national politics, they go back to play ethnic politics. And that is what I have found as a writer over the years. Immediately they fail, they will go back and start fanning the ethnicity. They go back to fan the embers of division and acrimony. Then let me go back to restructuring. You know, we've been talking about it before. We'll talk about it before.
Oh, okay, yes, hold the thought. I'll come straight back to you. Mr. Bubakar is calling.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, thank you for whatever you have been doing. I think with what you are doing, this is the best way to unite Nigeria through this year program. And also, I thank our fellow Igbo brothers and our northern brothers. I think there are three issues that I think I need to clarify and also buttress. You see, whatever that has happened, I believe that one, the press also, they need to sit down and do a serious, thorough consultation with press so that those who are spreading the fake news about this issue, they should also tackle them. Because I am sure that I can be in my bedroom or in my toilet and then make a release to any press and said I am from Arewa Youth. And you can imagine the Arewa Youth, there are so many Arewa Youth, so many. These ones will come and condemn so many. So, and if you look at enormous northern cycles, a northerner, always when you start playing him IGG, initial gragra, when he does his own original gragra, it hurts. So these people, they have done their own original gragra, and I'm sure they have achieved what they wanted to achieve. Nnamdi Kanu now is quiet. And to me, I believe those people who are even making things difficult are those who did not travel. Me, I school in the East, and I live there even when the place we don't even drink water, we go to stream. Nobody hurt me. I eat I eat everything. They are my best friends. But the issue is that I think now that this thing is going on now, and I'm sure Nnamdi Kanu also, because they have not all traveled. So, and they need to sensitize the youth so that they can meet. Some of them don't even know road to Onitsha. Some don't know even road to Abuja. And they call themselves Nigerians.
All right, then. Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. Bubakar. Appreciate your call. I'll come straight back. I was
talking about restructuring. And then once you talk about restructuring, people say, okay, let's move back to the regions.
Yes.
Move back to us so that you control whatever you have there. And over the years, we're talking about it, but for the past 10 years, I have found out that the problem of this country is not even restructuring. That everything we lack in this country can be traced to corruption. Every damn thing can be traced to corruption, because sometimes our budget is stolen and people are frustrated. You can't get anything. So we need to deepen the debate. The problem is not the structure. And I don't think that Katsina will want to give up their state for regions again. I don't think Lagos will want to give up their state, Anambra to give up their state, because they want you know, it's a difficult task. We need to deepen the debate. Our problem is corruption. That's why people are not getting what they need. Let's reduce corruption to the barest minimum and then bring justice.
So,
bring justice to the table.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yes.
Umar, that point about, look, you can reduce this whole thing really if you were to boil it down. It comes down to corruption, because without corruption, eating into resources and eating into what governance should put where it should be, that is what is really causing the strife. And so maybe our focus needs to shift a bit. Would you agree with that position?
Yeah, I agree with Joe. To some extent, I look at it, corruption. Our leaders, you know, with all sense of responsibility, they are actually the problem of this country, Mr. Yori, because they are not in line and click into this whole fight against corruption.
Yeah, but we put them there. You and I put them there.
Not we.
Okay.
Not
in some places you do not have
in
elections.
Some places
you don't have elections.
There are no elections. They find themselves.
Put somebody there.
That's
the corruption that we're talking about.
So the system is such that those people can hijack power,
and
we will all be sit-down looking.
A few months ago, or sometimes the second, is it the first money that was released? This Paris money that President Buhari released to some state. Could you believe some state governors, you know, diverted the money to their personal account? Some bought hotels, built hotels, houses, wherever. We are not asking questions. They are answerable to their electorate. But this has not been the case.
But well, you see, there's so much work to be done, because when you say
enormous work
across Nigeria, I don't know, maybe varying in varying degrees, the difficulty of leaders, those who put them in power, the electorate, getting them to answer to them. It's been an uphill task, simply because of our traditional structures about when I speak as an elder, I don't expect any talk back from you. That cultural thing is what people have exploited, our elders have exploited. You think there's any sense in that? And so the Western democratic ideal that you come back and account. Look, we see it every day in the UK, and we admire it. You know, we admire it. But here, somebody that is called by a chieftaincy title, I didn't want to mention any particular chieftaincy title, somebody that is already called by a chieftaincy title, it's half like he knows he has his quote-unquote corrupt privileges, and the electorate itself knows that I can't ask him anything too much. He only gives me what out of the mercy of his heart he wants to give me. That's one of those problems. Do you think restructuring will sort that out?
Yes, Yori. No matter how highly placed you are not above the law. Our institutions are weak. Call it the judiciary.
It's the institutions. It's the institutions.
Well, what has it got to do with restructuring?
What?
Is building institutions, taking institutions, building institutions away from people. Here we center everything around one person, but strong institutions. That's why they are grounding the war against corruption, because of failure of institutions.
Yes.
So build it.
Yes.
Yeah, so these are the things that we must do. You can do it.
Yeah, but these
and they're doing it.
These institutions also always have a driving seat. And what do you do, for example? The judiciary has a nominal head, the legislative ditto, and so on and so forth. These are the people that corrupt these very institutions and prevent them from growing. But hold your thoughts. Let me bring in Shola, who's been waiting. Good morning, Mr. Shola.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Good morning, Nigerians. I think restructuring, Igbo must go, Biafra must stay, Afenifere must be established, is just a depression of the mind of the young ones. The word of God says, the word says an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And unfortunately, we lack leaders with visions all over the state, both from the north, the south, and the west. Sir, you can confirm this, that by the ideological display of political interest in the governance of Lagos State. Everybody careless where you come from. Where a governor is constructing a road under 16 months, bridges under 16 months, where other states find it very difficult to even do a drainage for 4 years. What do you expect of such an environment? I think it is just our leader that is misleading us, and they make references to the days of Awolowo when those ones have ideas that people could beckon on and one can trust. We are the leaders that you can talk of today that are projective enough to tell us that this is where we are going and this is what we should do. When you begin to redirect the mind of the man, he follows suit. He wants to build. His hand is made to build. His legs is made to walk. And his head is built to think. When all of these things are stagnant, these are the kind of characters you will be seeing. I just pray that either the young ones or the old ones, because when you look at the characters who are making this news in the north, they are not young ones. They are above their 50s, if you can see. Let us be honest to ourselves.
Thank you very much.
What do you expect?
Thank you very much, Shola. I appreciate your call, Shola. Thank you very much for calling in. All of this conversation started because the Vice President had alerted that these goings on are illegal. They break the law. They are unconstitutional.
Of course, Section 2.
You know,
Section 2 says
exactly.
Nigeria is indissoluble and indivisible.
Exactly. And so much has been invested in.
And no youth anywhere can say you must live here. It's unconstitutional.
So the Vice President felt the need to just remind people in case they forgot, which cannot be forgotten.
We have a law in this country, and every citizen, should abide by the law. We can't just, remain or be a lawless country.
Indeed.
Whereby everybody can just speak.
Speaking particularly to the minority groups that are perpetuating this idea, it must be said, there is not an equal balance. It's not a matter of 50-50. No, it is not. They might be a very, very loud and strategically placing their message, but for all of that, it's not as if the numbers are there. For the agitations, for instance, that...
No. What we are saying is that the leaders must do their job.
Yes.
I condemn the Arua directive, the youth directive that Igbo should leave the North by October 1. That is breaking the law. But I also condemn, hate speeches from my side of Nigeria. Because these things have been there. After the 2015 elections, these things, magnified. And people like us, like riders, yes,
political losses now led to sour grapes,
that was what led to us, establishing the Igbo Conscience, TIC, to draw the attention to the fact that you can stay in the United States or Canada or UK to throw stones. Don't forget that you have people all over Nigeria. We were saying it. And if you put something like that, you'll be abused. At the time I was asked, they said I should not come to this, that you are banned from this. I said, well, I'm a royal prince. Royal blood.
So it gets that. We've run out of time.
I want to quickly say
very, very briefly.
We must move away from persecution complex, defeatism attitude, leadership complex, selfish sense of superiority, paranoid grandiosity that has not led anybody anywhere. Play better policies. If I have the time, I wanted to even tell you what happened.
We've completely run out of time. We've completely run out of time. Umar, that's the sentiment. People need to take cognition of the fact that what's going on is breaking the law in a very, very serious way. And there are other ways to air these agitations. I think that's the bottom line. And as you said, the Vice President has been meeting with Northern Elders Forum.
Talk is going on
ongoing.
The East and the Northern leaders. We have so many potentials in this country. If harnessed, Nigeria would be great.
Thank you. I am now overrunning, but thank you very, very much, Alhaji Umar Adamu, Secretary General, Arewa United Forum, and Mr. Joe Igbokwe. Thank you very much as well, author, publisher, engineer, APC Publicity Secretary in Lagos State. Thank you, gentlemen, for your insights. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.